Hello. First of all, thank you so much, Chimamanda, for that incredible introduction, like personal introduction to everyone in this room. Your brain is like an encyclopedia. I don't even know whether I know my family members that well. So I'm going to have to go home and memorize some names. But it's such a pleasure to be here and to get this kind of very personal introduction to Nigeria. I've been here once before, 2 years ago, when we took our first trip to get to know the place, and it was very, very quiet on purpose. And this time as well, I'm here to soak in as much as I can about Nigeria in preparation for playing the incredible character that Chimamanda wrote, Efemelu. And I just want to say a few words, first of all, about how I fell in love with Americanah. I read it, I pre-ordered the book when it was coming out. It came out in April, I remember, April of 2013. I had just graduated from college, I'd moved to New York, and I had done my first film, but it hadn't come out. So I didn't have the profile that I have now. And I ordered the book because I had read Half of a Yellow Sun and Purple Hibiscus, and both of them were incredible. And I actually she was the one, Chimamanda's name was the one Google search, what is it? Like when you have what is it called? When you have like when you save a name so that you get everything that comes out of that person. Google alert was my only Google alert, okay? And so when Americanah came out, I read it immediately. And I'm not as an avid a reader as I would like to be, but I make room for writing. And I read it, and I wept many times because I felt like she had captured my experience being an immigrant in America. And she'd done so with such specificity to the Nigerian experience. And in that specificity, she had captured my experience, even though I'm from Kenya. And I was just awe, because what is happening here? I'll move. I think I need to move, sorry. Is this better? I think this is better. Okay. So I was just awestruck by her ability to capture such exquisite character that made me laugh, but also made me feel seen. I just felt seen in those pages. And I remember finishing the book and falling madly in love with Obinze. At this point, he's like my standard man that I'm still looking for. But I felt like, oh, this is a character I would love to embody. I would love to embody this person on screen because what I do is act, and her characters were just so actable, And so with no clout, I read her acknowledgments, and in her acknowledgments, we had a friend in common. His name was Binyavanga Wainaina, and unfortunately, he has since passed. And I emailed him and said, I love this book and I want to make it I would love to see it on screen. If I compose an email, would you please send it to her? And he agreed to do that. And so with nothing to say except, hey, I'm a Kenyan, I'm an actress, and I love your book, and I would love to do this. That's all I did, and I sent it to her, and of course she never wrote back to me. But lucky for me, I had already started in my acting career, and shortly after that, my film, 12 Years a Slave, thank you, that starred Chiwetel Ejiofor, came out at Toronto, at the Toronto Film Festival, and the next day was the premiere of Half of a Yellow Sun. So I picked myself up and went there to watch Half of a Yellow Sun and to introduce myself to Chimamanda. And I walked up to her and she said, I didn't know who you were until I saw that dress you wore yesterday. And that just is proof of how much she loves fashion. And then after that, of course, everything happened and we find ourselves here today. And I grew up watching many things about Africa, but they were often, foreign things about Africa, but they were often with Africa as the backdrop, nowhere in Africa, somewhere in Africa. I dreamed of Africa, and I was so exhausted and irritated by how general the portrayal of Africa can be. And one of the things I feel so privileged to do is to bring specificity to the African story. And that's why I'm here, because I know I'm a far cry from a Nigerian. And you all are very specific people. So I would like to, I'm here to immerse myself and learn as much as I can in order to do this story justice. And one of the things that we did when this thing was picked up and we got money behind it is insist that we shoot in Nigeria. Because the little time I've spent here, I just know there's no substitute for this place. And so I've been here learning Igbo, which might as well be Mandarin, really. I mean, and Pidgin as well, because if I sabi Pidgin, if I sabi Pidgin, one fit gon' sell me. I'm trying. And I have an incredible Igbo teacher. And the other day she was teaching me how to Igbo, how to count. And we learned, she taught me 1 to 100, which I thought was really unfair. I mean, how can I learn 1 to 100? But I studied that night. I studied my 1 to 10 because I felt if I capture 1 to 10, I got the others covered. And so the next day, she came in and I said, I want to show you my numbers. And she said, okay, do them. And I did my numbers. I won't do them now because I'm too nervous. And as I finished, she said, you've tried. And I felt like, yo, I did more than try, And then I was showing off to Chimamanda's cousin. I was like, oh, I just learned Igbo numbers. And she says to me, that's not going to help you. Nobody really uses those numbers anyway. But I tell that story to say that one thing that I love about Nigerians is how honest you are. And so as I carry on in preparing for this role, I'm going to go in my little cave as an actor because I have to do that in order to get into character. But I go in there really deeply appreciating the warm welcome I have received, the honesty that you continue to express, and I hope that we will come here, we'll make a kick-ass show, and show them. Dalu.